We had spoken about the reactivity of metals, how metals react with oxygen as well as with water. And we have seen that few of the metals are so reactive that when they come in contact with water, they burst out into flames. They burst out into flames. And sodium, potassium, they form their corresponding oxides. If you remember this particular slide which I had shared with you all, it was giving us a summary of how the different metals are reacting with water, oxygen, and acids we'll be seeing today. So most of the metals react with oxygen to form the corresponding metal oxides. Okay, metals react with water and form metal hydroxide. Along with that, hydrogen gas is also evolved. This hydrogen gas, when a burning splinter is brought near it, it will blow off the flame with a pop sound. Okay, we have seen that calcium was also reacting with water to form calcium hydroxide. Sodium and potassium also react spontaneously along with lithium to form their corresponding hydroxides, and hydrogen is evolved as a result of this reaction. The energy evolved or formed is so high when sodium, potassium, and lithium react with water that it causes the hydrogen gas to burst out into flames. We had seen the respective pictures also of the same. Coming to calcium, it reacts with water, cold water, but not as vigorously as does sodium. It also forms calcium hydroxide along with hydrogen gas. And after some time, we can see that the calcium metal starts floating along with the bubbles of hydrogen. Magnesium does not react with cold water, but it requires either hot water or steam. There was a setup that we discussed. If you remember, the setup was discussed with a tube, and the gas evolved here also was hydrogen. So the thing to be kept in mind here is that sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium form their corresponding hydroxides along with hydrogen with water, while zinc, aluminium, and iron will form their oxides. Okay. Now coming back to how sodium reacts with oxygen, there's a small video that I would like to share with you all. You can just have a look at it. It helps you to see how reactive sodium is.
Mercury forms alloys with
So let's see first this video.
One of the greatest joys of
is connected to a delivery tube.
So here you see that magnesium
we are going to pass the gas form to a inverter funnel. So firstly, we'll use an outer filter with water and connect it to a inverter funnel. So now we will heat the boiling tube first. Because inside the boiling tube is mainly air, we hope that we will firstly repel all the air inside away first before there's any gas formed between steam and magnesium. So you can see that water inside moves. It means that some of the gases are passing out. Okay, so now I'm going to pass the delivery tube to the inverter funnel. So you try to observe if there's any gas formed and collected inside the boiling tube. You start to see some of the gases already formed. Maybe the reaction between magnesium and the steam already starts. Okay, so you can see there's a reaction, yeah, between the magnesium and the steam. Okay, so now the experiment between magnesium.
So, children, just now there was an experimental demonstration of how the magnesium gets heated, reacts with water when hot water or steam is there. And you could also see that hydrogen gas was being collected by the downward displacement method, wherein the inverted tube there slowly was showing you the bubbles, and the hydrogen gas hence that was collected can be used, and then a burning splinter brought to the mouth of the test tube. Now coming to the next topic, that is the reaction of metals with acids. Okay, before that I just want to quickly recap what we learned in the previous class about metal oxides being basics, that is MOB. Now, since metal oxide are basic in nature, what would happen is they would react with acids and give rise to a neutralization reaction. As we all know that neutralization reactions are reactions in which an acid and a base react together to give you magnesium, the salt, that is here it is magnesium chloride and water. Okay, all metal oxides are basic. Only there were two exceptions there. Which were they? Can someone quickly tell me those two exceptions?
Aluminium and
Aluminium and zinc.
zinc.
Aluminium and zinc.
So, should the answer be
Aluminium.
zinc oxide, zinc oxide?
Yeah. It's zinc.
The answer should be aluminium or aluminum oxide.
Aluminium oxide.
Aluminium oxide.
And zinc oxide.
So we need to be very careful what is the question that is being asked. Okay, so aluminium oxide and zinc oxides are the two oxides which are amphoteric in nature. Can somebody quickly define amphoteric oxide? Of amphoteric oxide.
Amphoteric oxides behave both like
acids and bases.
It can behave both like an acid as well as base. So with an acid they behave like a base, and with a base they will behave like an acid and give rise to a neutralization reaction called water will be formed. Okay, now coming to the general reaction of metals with acids. Whenever a metal reacts with acid, it is going to form salt and hydrogen gases. If you see here, we have taken a strip of magnesium ribbon and we have just put it inside a beaker filled with dilute acid. After some times there will be small bubbles which can be seen, which are evolved. Okay, and this gas is hydrogen gas. And how do we prove that? We can just collect it by inverting a test tube on top of the beaker where the reaction is happening, and then just bring the test tube with the gas near a candle flame. So the candle flame will be switched, it will put off and a pop sound will be heard. Okay, now let's quickly write down reactions. So today's classwork starts now. Kindly put the date. Write the topic as reaction of acids with metals. Kindly all of you all put the date. I am maintaining a list of what all classworks we are doing. So the same would be corrected later. I hope everybody is following the instructions that are being given during the class. So you will put today's date. You will write that classwork. The heading will be of acid. Self on mute. Kindly put yourself on mute. So
what is the heading again? Like not for the chapter.
It's there on your screen.
Sorry.
So we would write the first reaction of magnesium with acid. Usually we use dilute acids because the concentrated acids would be really difficult and risky to work with. Can someone quickly give me the definition of concentrated and dilute acid, which we have already discussed in the previous class of acids and bases? How do you define a concentrated acid? Am I not audible or nobody wants to answer?
Ma'am, concentrated acids have less H plus ions, maybe.
They have less?
H plus ions.
You should have turned the book before only, Sudesh. Yeah, they have more amount of H plus ions per unit volume, and dilute acids have less concentration of H plus ions. So usually we use dilute acids along with the metal. So the first reaction that you're going to write is metal, magnesium, all textbooks to be closed. Magnesium reacts with HCl. You have to form salt and hydrogen gas. So what you will do is write magnesium. I hope everybody is using the symbol of magnesium there. So write magnesium plus HCl, hydrochloric acid. So what you will do is remove the hydrogen first from the acid. So the product that you write on the right hand side, put a plus sign and write hydrogen gas first. Please listen to the instructions. It will be easier to write because you won't be able to memorize so many reactions. Okay. So all have written hydrogen on the other side of the arrow. That is the product side. Now in hydrochloric acid, once you remove hydrogen, what is left? What is left?
MgCs.
Cl.
Chlorine.
Question that is being asked. What is left after you remove hydrogen from hydrochloric acid?
Oh, chlorine.
Chloride ion. It's not chlorine, it's chloride ion. The chloride ion will now combine with the metal. Combine it with metal and form the salt. You should know the valencies. Do the rough work in the valency column there. You can do the rough work in the column there.
Ma'am, done.
The chloride ion will combine with the metal, magnesium here. What is the valency of magnesium, Ananya?
Yes, ma'am.
Magnesium valency. What will be the valency of magnesium?
2.
Nandita, chlorine's valency? Nandita?
-1.
Chlorine's valency? -1. So what is the formula that you get for the salt?
MgCl2.
All are getting that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just reiterating the same. Mg plus HCl forms MgCl2 plus hydrogen gas. Write the second equation. Write the second equation.
Ma'am, should we balance it?
Yeah, of course. That is not a question to be asked, but as always, it should be balanced. Can we come to the next one? Yeah.
Yes.
Now you'll put aluminium, metal, aluminium, write the symbol of aluminium, and hydrochloric acid. Aluminium plus hydrochloric acid. Towards the product side, first put the plus sign, write the hydrogen gas. So once you remove hydrogen from hydrochloric acid, what is left? Again, chloride. You will combine chloride with aluminium and write the formula for the salt, keeping in mind the valency of aluminium and chlorine. Take your time, do it on your own. Don't refer to any text as of now. You know this how to write. You have done the whole chapter on this. So you get hydrogen gas and you get aluminium.
AnCl3.
Yes, aluminium chloride, aluminium.
Will it be like
3
plus
3 plus H2.
AlCl3? Ma'am, done.
Anybody is not getting it, please let me know.
Will it be 2Al 2H. No, not 2H.
First, you tell me the salt formation, Ananya, then we can balance it. So you get AlCl3. Aluminium is plus 3. Chlorine is minus 6. Yeah. Now balance it. I hope everybody gets this particular equation here.
Ma'am, I balanced it.
So it is 2Al plus HCl, 6HCl forms 2AlCl3 plus 3H2.
Yes, ma'am.
Aluminium is a metal. So what state will you write for it?
Solid.
Solid, ma'am.
Hydrochloric acid?
Liquid. No.
Aqueous.
Aqueous.
Sorry.
Acid have some amount of water in it. Aluminium chloride again is a solid,
Solid.
and hydrogen gas.
Gas.
Write the next one: zinc with hydrochloric acid.
Okay, repeat the question.
Guys, please mute yourself.
Oh.
Zinc with hydrochloric acid. I want Aman to give me the answer here. Zinc with hydrochloric acid. Aman, give me the answer.
Ma'am, I finished.
I'm done, ma'am.
I'm done.
Very good, very good. Let Aman give us the answer.
Done, ma'am.
Our answers should match with what he is giving. Hope it is right. Aman, done? Aman, I will not proceed till you don't give me the answer.
Ma'am, one second. My question. Zinc plus HCl, ZnCl2
Okay.
plus H2.
Plus
Hydrogen
H.
gas.
Very, yeah. Balance it. All of you all got the same? Balance it.
Yes, ma'am.
The next one. Aluminium in sulfate.
Ma'am, this one question. Will nothing, ma'am.
Yes, Ananya.
Oh, ma'am, I thought I did it wrong, but I did it correct.
Okay. So the next one, children, aluminium in sulfuric acid. Aluminium plus sulfuric acid. Aluminium plus sulfuric acid. So hopefully all are clear now. Whenever, Aman, kindly mute yourself. Yeah, so we are clear about the reaction. When a metal reacts with acids, you will get hydrogen gas plus a salt. So whichever negative ion or anion is there in the acid will combine with the metal to give you the respective salt.
I'm done.
What is it, Jaipreet? Tell me the answer.
Done, ma'am. It's H2 plus Al2 SO4 bracket 3.
Huh? Again?
Ma'am, Al2 SO4
Hmm.
and then SO4 in bracket then 3.
What is it called? What is it called, Jaipreet? Aluminium? Aluminium sulfate. Everybody got? Is it? Can somebody give me the balanced equation quickly?
Ma'am, 2Al
Yes.
2Al plus 3H2SO4 forms Al2SO4 bracket 3 plus 3H2.
Yes, ma'am.
Everybody understood why we're putting bracket 3? Because the valency of aluminium is 3 and sulfate is a polyatomic molecule. So we need to consider it to put the bracket. Now, if you have seen, depending upon the reactivity, magnesium, aluminium, zinc will be more reactive as compared to iron, and hence the reactivity series is made in this manner. Okay, metals like silver, copper, gold do not react with acid. If you have heard about an old incident, basically, when in olden times, people used to come out and say that they would clean the jewelry of gold and silver. So the house people used to give, the ladies of the house used to give away those gold and silver jewelry, and the person will dip them in a solution. And after some time, the jewelry will be shiny and the lady gets back the jewelry. But when they used to check, they would find out that the weight of the gold or the silver in that jewelry has decreased. Can you tell me why? Have heard about such stories anytime?
Yes, ma'am.
If not, I am telling you, so you are listening, right? So how was that cleaning happening? Because usually silver and gold do not react with acid.
Maybe eroding.
No. So the solution that the person used to use for cleaning, and in turn used to take away gold and silver from every jewelry that he was coming across, the solution he used to use it called as aqua regia. Okay, the solution is called as aqua regia. It's a 3:1 solution, 3 parts of HCl and 1 part of nitric acid. Okay, aqua regia was used for cleaning silver and gold, and it has the property of dissolving silver and gold to some extent. Okay, but only when you're using acid, hydrochloric, or only nitric acid, it might not have the effect. So aqua regia is made up of HCl as well as nitric acid in a ratio of 3:1. Now there's an exception that nitric acid shows, children, with metals. Nitric acid does react with the metals, but it will not be evolving hydrogen gas. That's because nitric acid behaves as a strong oxidizing agent. If we just go back to the definition of oxidizing agents in the first chapter that we studied, oxidizing agents are agents which easily give or provide oxygen. Okay, so what happens is, if you see the reactions that are put up on the top, where metal, magnesium, aluminium, zinc are reacting with acids, the hydrogen gas is evolved in all these conditions, right? Now, when nitric acid is present, it acts as a strong oxidizing agent, and whatever hydrogen is evolved will be converted to water, H2O, because HNO3 will act like a strong oxidizing agent, and it will oxidize the hydrogen that is produced in the reaction to water. And itself, it will undergo reduction, and it might be reduced to NO2 or NO. Okay, so with nitric acids only, copper or any metal will not give hydrogen gas, because nitric acid behaves as a strong oxidizing agent, and hence will oxidize the hydrogen back to water, and itself gets reduced to form oxides of nitrogen. Except magnesium and manganese. There are 2 exceptions, magnesium Mg and manganese, which is Mn. These 2 react with dilute nitric acid to some extent and can evolve hydrogen gas. So whenever I talk about any exceptions, please keep those in mind, write somewhere, and even in your textbooks later on, you can write it down as important and keep it on the top somewhere, so that when you're revising this particular concept, you know that exceptions have to be also kept in mind. So if they ask you how does copper react with nitric acid in the exam, directly don't write hydrogen gas is evolved, because whenever nitric acid is there, hydrogen will be converted to water. But magnesium and manganese do react with dilute nitric acid to give you some amount of hydrogen gas. I hope everybody is clear with this. Okay, so what you have to remember is reaction of acids with water. General reaction is it forms salt and hydrogen gas. Okay, only with nitric acid, hydrogen gas is not evolved, where nitric acid behaves like an oxidizing agent.
Ma'am,
now
I had a doubt.
Yes, Tanvi.
Ma'am, you said that the weight of the gold and silver decreased.
Yeah.
Why was that?
Because aqua regia dissolves the gold.
Okay.
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 Can we proceed now?
Yes, ma'am.
Now coming to the next part, that is the reaction of metals with their salts, different salts. Before that, we should know this. That is called as the reactivity series. So what we saw before this, reaction of metals with oxygen and water, based upon the reaction or the reactivity of the metal, how reactive they are, the metals can be arranged in a series, which is called as the reactivity series or the activity series. I have given you here a way of remembering the same. So I think it's one which you already must be knowing also. So you can just quickly make a note of the same. You have to know the reactivity series, because when you come across questions of displacement reactions in the exam, in the rough column first you should write the reactivity series, and then only you'll be able to answer. So here the reactivity series starts with potassium and it ends with gold, stating that potassium is the most reactive metal that is present, followed by sodium, calcium, magnesium, and aluminium. Carbon is kept there. Actually, it's a basically metals show the reactivity, but carbon here we are considering graphite because it shows some conductivity there. So we can remember, or you can just as of now also leave it out. Then zinc, iron, tin, and lead. So if you see any metal which is below it, okay, it is less reactive. Now coming to the
Ma'am.
weight number, yes, Pius.
There used to be platinum also.
Yeah, it can be. Why not? Platinum is the least reactive after gold. Okay. So why these important ones I have highlighted is mostly for your syllabus. You get questions from them. So yes, who's it?
Ma'am, Dhruv.
Yes, Dhruv.
Ma'am, does this continue or is it only till platinum?
Platinum is the least reactive as of now.
Okay.
Silver, gold. Okay. We are only talking about metals here, and when we talk about metals, usually commonly occurring metals or commonly used metals, because only those can be used for seeing the reactivity. Okay. We will not go and the metal which is very rare in nature and find its reactivity. Whatever studies have been done with most of these metals.
Okay. Thank you.
So now coming to the next, that is displacement reaction. The word itself has a meaning in it, displace. Okay. When a metal higher in the reactivity series is able to displace a metal which is lower in the reactivity series from its salt solution. I repeat, when a metal higher in the reactivity series is able to displace a metal lower in the reactivity series from its salt solution, such a reaction is called as a displacement reaction. The three keywords that you have to remember for this definition always is more reactive metal, less reactive metal, and salt solution. If you forget to write salt solution, your marks will be deducted. Okay, so if you see here, when magnesium is reacting with copper sulfate here is the salt solution. Magnesium, if we quickly go to the reactivity series, is above copper. Magnesium is above copper in the reactivity series, which means what? Magnesium is more reactive than copper. Hence, magnesium, which is more reactive than copper, displaces copper, which is lower in the reactivity series, from its salt solution. So copper sulfate is now converted to magnesium sulfate and copper metal starts depositing. Okay, we have come across these reactions in your previous grades also. And we have also done I think in practicals of grade 9, we had taken copper sulfate and put iron, nail, and zinc also in that and seen the color change. So displacement reaction definition, you have to remember more reactive metal, less reactive metal, and salt solution. Now this is a setup which we usually do in our labs also. We have taken two test tubes in which we have kept copper sulfate. So we all know the color of copper sulfate. It is blue. Why is copper sulfate blue in color? What is the reason for it? Something to do with the last topic of salts, where we study about gypsum and plaster of Paris. So you can quickly open the textbook to that
Made
page.
as water of crystallization.
Yes, Gautam. Yes, Gautam. Yes, Gautam, please repeat.
Because of water of crystallization.
Yes, can you define water of crystallization for me, Gautam?
Yeah, some amount of water will be dissolved with the salts or something.
Is it dissolved or associated?
Yeah, it's associated.
Yeah. So what is the difference between dissolved and associated water molecule?
And dissolved, can't tell.
Yes, Gautam?
I can't tell properly.
Anybody else can tell me the difference between dissolved and associated water molecule?
Dissolved meaning into and associated means with.
Along with, right? So usually we write the formula of gypsum and all as dot. See, what was the formula? Calcium sulfate dot half H2O dot 2H2O, right? For plaster of Paris, correct? So those dot water molecules are showing how many water molecules are being shared by one molecule of that particular compound. So copper sulfate is blue in color because it has 5 water molecules of hydration. So we write the formula as CuSO4 dot 5H2O. Ferrous sulfate is green in color. Now what has happened is, towards your left hand side, the test tube has copper sulfate, which is blue in color, and you are putting the iron nail. If you quickly see the reactivity series, iron is above copper or below copper? It is above copper.
Copper.
Iron is more reactive than copper, hence it can displace copper from its salt solution. So the product that you get is copper and iron sulfate or ferrous sulfate. You see the right hand side test tube, it is showing green color because there is formation of ferrous sulfate which has 7 molecules of water of hydration associated with it. So copper has 5 and ferrous sulfate has 7. Okay. So here the copper has been displaced and the copper starts depositing on the iron nail as copper metal. So usually what they do is they fight like this. They say I am stronger and I am stronger. The metal which is more stronger, is able to displace the other one. So in a football match, usually who's stronger takes the ball and becomes the new salt. Correct? Yeah. The same can be also seen for the reaction of zinc and copper sulfate. So in the left hand side beaker, you can see there is blue color copper sulfate salt and zinc strip in the form of the metal is just dipped in it. And after some time, zinc being higher in reactivity displaces copper from its copper sulfate or salt solution, and you get zinc sulfate plus copper. Here the reaction is written in terms of ions. You can write it as zinc plus copper sulfate forms zinc sulfate plus copper. The copper gets deposited and the blue color of copper sulfate is changed slowly into colorless zinc sulfate solution. Children, have you all taken down few of these equations, especially this one? You can write displacement reaction and you can write down these 3 equations. Magnesium, first one is magnesium plus copper sulfate. Magnesium plus copper sulfate forms magnesium sulfate plus copper. Forms magnesium sulfate plus copper. Now, how will you know that the reaction has occurred here? The color of copper sulfate will be disappearing and copper, which is usually a brown colored metal, will start depositing on the magnesium strip. I want all of you all to write an answer for this particular reaction. What is the reason for this particular reaction to happen in your own words? Just below the equation, write what exactly is happening or why that particular reaction is happening. Kindly do that and then we shall see a few videos on how the different metals react. with different salts.
Organic chemistry or milliliters of 0.1 molar copper sulfate and a strip of zinc metal. As you can see, two solutions of copper sulfate were made, one as the control, the other as the experimental, to observe any differences to the solutions after zinc was added. So why does this beautiful reaction happen? Well, my colleague here, Platt, will tell you all about it.
And the zinc reacts with the H+, as it absorbs wavelengths of light in the red spectrum. Photons.
Zinc has no paired electron in its d orbitals. Its salts will not have any color. So I hope you guys take away two things from this video. First, achieving a basic understanding of a simple single displacement redox reaction. And second, learning that chemistry is actually pretty cool. Thank you. Displacement redox reaction. And second,
so I hope this reaction, you could see the color difference. The copper sulfate, which was blue in color, it changed to the zinc sulfate, which is colorless. Okay, so we just come quickly to the conclusion of the the three reactions that we saw, children. We saw metals react with oxygen. We saw metals react with water. We saw metal reacting with acids. So if one of you can quickly tell me what is the reason you have written for the reaction here? Anyone? How did you write the reason for the reaction? Yes, guys.
Magnesium is added to copper sulfate, so as magnesium is higher in the reactivity series than copper, magnesium will displace copper from the salt solution and it becomes MgSO4 plus C.
Yeah, we can also always write the color change that is happening for all these reactions. Okay, for any of the reactions, you need to also specify the color changes. Whether it is asked or not asked, you should always write your answers with the color change. So this is a quick recap of the different metals, how they react with water, acids, and oxygen. You have to remember oxygen with oxygen metals form oxides. There is no hydrogen gas involved here. With acid, they will be forming salt and hydrogen gas. Along with water, again, metal hydroxides and hydrogen will be formed. So sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium form the corresponding hydroxides, while zinc, aluminium, iron will only form oxides with water. Any doubts? Any doubts? Take down the assignment, page number 46, in-text questions, question number 1 to 5. Page number 46, in-text questions, question number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In-text questions, question number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
All clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Just like to show you all this particular reaction here. If I am, yeah, I wanted to show you all this reaction of sodium with water. You can see how reactively sodium reacts with water, and
We'll go down the column of the periodic table in group 1 and look at sodium. Like the lithium, the sodium is stored in a mineral oil to minimize reaction with the oxygen in the air. If we remove a piece of sodium metal, we notice that it's also coated over with an oxide coating. Group 1 metals become softer as you go down the column. the sodium is much easier to cut than the lithium. As we cut off the oxide layer, we can see the shiny metal underneath. It coats over very rapidly with a layer of oxide. The sodium is a metal and is an excellent conductor of electricity. If we take a piece of the sodium metal and add it to water, we notice a much more rapid reaction with the water. Like lithium, the sodium is less dense than water and floats. The metal moves across the surface, being pushed by the hydrogen gas that is produced. As you go down the column with group 1 metals, the melting point of the metal decreases. The reaction is very exothermic, which causes the sodium metal to melt. The metal contracts into a very compact spherical form. We can again test that hydrogen gas is being produced by this single displacement reaction by trapping the gas and testing its flammability. We test for the
So if you saw there, sodium reacted very fast, spontaneously, exothermic reaction, and there was hydrogen gas which was giving you that pop sound.